In this video, we will show you how to assemble a sliding door, build the door frame, and install it on your polytunnel. Here are the parts you'll need. Domestic sliding doors come in a standard width and a wide width option. Both the standard and the wide options are assembled in the same way. The double door option is made from two standard doors. Constructing the doors in the warmth of your garage or on a hard flat surface is easier than trying to perform the operation on site. Both the standard and wide doors are made of 2 uprights and 3 cross pieces. The uprights are 50mm by 50mm timber and are 1.8 meters long. The cross pieces are also 50mm by 50mm timber, but are different in length. Cross pieces for a standard door measure 59.5 centimeters, and for wide doors the measurement is 79.5 centimeters. The remaining pieces of timber in the pack are battens, which will be used to secure the door cover to the door. To get started, we will drill 3 pilot holes in each upright with a 3mm timber drill bit. Using a tape measure, mark the position of the holes on the upright with a pencil. Holes are required 3 cm in from each end of the uprights, and the third hole needs to be 65 cm from one end. Ensure you drill the holes central to the width of the timber. Lay the 2 uprights parallel to each other, ensuring that the holes align, and then position the 3 cross pieces between the 2 uprights centrally with the holes. Once you are happy with the alignment, screw together using 75mm screws supplied in the sliding door furniture kit. We will now strengthen the joints with nail plates supplied in the door furniture kit. Position a nail plate centrally across the joints and nail into place using twisted nails. Nail plates only needed to be added to one face of the door. We will now fit the polythene panels to the door. We will fit the panels to the side which does not have the nail plates. Lay one polythene panel over the larger rectangle of the door and secure one edge to the middle crosspiece with a staple and staple gun. Lay the other panel over the smaller rectangle and secure the edge to the middle crosspiece. Pull the panel tight and secure along the opposite crosspiece. Now work down one side and secure it to one upright. Pull it tight across the width and secure to the opposite upright. The other polythene panel is secured in the same way. Pull it tight to the bottom of the door and secure it to the bottom crosspiece. Secure it to one upright and pull the polythene panel tight across the width, ensuring there are no wrinkles and creases, and secure in place with staples. Finally, nail battens on top of the panels. Nails should be approximately 20 cm apart, and this will further secure the panels in position. The battens are 19mm by 38mm timber and come in 1.8 meter lengths. If you have standard doors, you will have been supplied with 3 battens per door. For wide doors, you will have 4 battens per door. 2 battens are used on the 2 uprights. The remaining battens will need to be cut to fit on the 3 cross pieces. Trim the excess polythene off with a sharp knife. We will now fit the sliding door wheel assemblies. The sliding door runs on 2 sets of wheels screwed to the top of each door. These wheels run in an aluminium track which is bolted to the outside of the door frame lintel after the polytunnel has been covered. Assemble the wheels by sliding the head of the bolt onto the bracket so the head is sat in the dip in the bracket. Thread the washer face nut onto the bolt and tighten. Thread the wheel assembly onto the bolt until the end of the bolt is flush with the nylon washer. Screw the wheel assembly to the top of the door centrally and 10 cm from each end. Ensure the slot of the bracket is on the inside face of the door. The inside of the door is the side with the nail plates. Using a 4mm timber drill bit, drill a pilot hole for each hole and secure the bracket to the door using the screws provided in the sliding door furniture kit. We will now make the door frame. We suggest using your doors as a template to make the door frame to achieve a good fit. The door frame comprises of 3 pieces of 47mm by 75mm timber. The 2 doorposts are 2.4 meters long, and the door frame lintel is 1.6 meters long. The door frame lintel suits all 3 variations in door widths: standard, wide, and double, and will need cutting to size. The remaining pieces supplied in the pack are 19mm by 38mm by 1.8 meter battens, one of which will be used shortly. The rest will be used later when fitting your polytunnel cover. Lay the previously assembled door on the floor with the nail plates facing upwards. In case of the double doors, lay 2 doors adjacent to each other. Place a doorpost on top of each side of the door, ensuring the outer edge of the doorpost is flush with the outer edge of the door. We will now cut the door frame lintel to size. Carefully measure the distance between the 2 door frame posts. Make note of the measurement and cut the timber to size. We will now secure the door frame lintel and door frame post together. Position the door frame lintel so the top of the lintel is 24 cm down from the end of the door frame post on each side. Make a mark centrally to the door frame lintel for the pilot hole. Drill a pilot hole with a 4mm timber drill bit in line with the second mark from the outside edge. Screw the door frame post to the door frame lintel using a 150mm screw. Repeat this on the opposite side. To ensure the door frame keeps its shape, cut a piece of batten and nail it to each doorpost across the width. If an earth base, measure from the bottom of the lintel 1.8 meters down to the top of the batten. If on a hard base, this measurement is 1.7 meters. Ensure that the measurement at the bottom of the 2 uprights is equal to the width at the top of your door frame lintel. The joints on the door top lintel to the doorpost can now be reinforced through the use of a nail plate on each side of the joint, using a nail plate and 3cm twisted nails. We will now show you how to fit your door frame to your polytunnel. We will show you how to secure the door frame to your polytunnel on both earth and solid bases. Run a taut string line across the width of your polytunnel on the end hoop across the front of the hoop. Position the assembled door frame centrally to the width and flush with the door rail and string line. Make a mark on the ground where your doorposts are. If you are fitting to an earth base, you will be required to excavate a 30cm square by 40cm deep hole for each post. If you are on a solid base, measure 1.82 meters from the underside of the door frame lintel and cut off the excess off the door frame posts. Reposition the door frame into the excavated holes. In the case of an earth base, the batten will sit on the ground. Ensure the door frame is central and vertically level. Draw a line on the door frame posts where it meets the door rail and cut on this line. Reposition the door frame for the final time. Once you are happy with the position, secure the top of the doorposts to the door rail using P-clips. Fit a P-clip onto the door rail so that both prongs of the P-clip run down the front face of the door frame post. Secure the P-clip to the door frame post using the screws provided in the P-clip pack. fix the P-clips into position by screwing them to the door rail with a self-drilling screw. Now it is time to secure the door frame posts to the ground. Position the door frame post flush with the string line and then secure it to the ground. If on an earth base, backfill the hole with soil or use postcrete for added strength. If on a solid base, fix the base of the plate to the floor using shield anchors for concrete or coach screws for timber. Position the door frame post plate on the ground on the inside of your polytunnel. Make a mark through the centre hole, then remove.
If on a concrete base, drill a hole 7 cm deep using a 14mm masonry drill bit.
Separate the bolt and washer from the sleeve and insert through the hole in the door frame post plate, and then screw on the sleeve. Locate the shield anchor into the hole and firmly tighten using a 13mm spanner. If on a timber base, drill a pilot hole 5 cm deep using a 7mm timber drill bit. Finally, screw the plate onto the doorpost using the screws provided. When the door frame posts are firmly in position, remove the batten. We will now fit the sliding door support rail. Sliding door support rails are fitted between the doorposts and the corner hoop to support the sliding door. If you have double doors, you will fit 2 sliding door support rails, one on each side. If you have a single door, you will only need to fit the one on the side your door opens. Sliding door support rails are 47mm by 75mm timber and come in lengths of 1.6 meters, which will need cutting to size. From the ground, measure up the doorpost 30 centimeters. Position a piece of timber flush with the doorpost and horizontally level, and cut the piece of timber to fit between the doorpost and the corner hoop. To secure the support rail to the doorpost, drill a pilot hole with a 4mm timber drill bit, and then fix in position with a 150mm screw. The support rail is then fixed to the corner hoop using a P-clip supplied in the sliding door support rail fixing kit. Position a P-clip onto the corner hoop with both prongs of the P-clip running along the front face of the sliding door support rail and secure in place with the screws provided. Ensure the sliding door support rail is level, and then use a self-drilling screw to secure the P-clip in position on the corner hoop. Reinforce the joints between the door frame post and support rail using a nail plate and twisted nails on both sides. Position a nail plate so that it bridges the joints equally and use a nail for every hole. The final step for the support rail is to fix a batten to it on the outside. The batten should be cut to fit between the end of the P-clip and approximately 5mm away from the joint on the doorpost. Once the correct size, nail batten to support rail, ensuring the top edges are flush. We will now show you how to fit your sliding door. The process of fitting your sliding doors will be done once you have fitted your polytunnel cover. Please watch the video fitting the polytunnel cover to an aluminium or timber rail, or the trenching method, and then return to this section to perform the final fit of your sliding doors. The aluminium door rail track is supplied in lengths to accommodate your chosen door. The door track for the standard door is 1.4 meters. For a wide door, it is 1.8 meters. Or for double doors, the door track is made from 2 pieces that measure 1.4 meters. If you have double doors, you will be required to join the 2 pieces of door track together. Join these together by inserting a rail joiner approximately halfway into the T-slot on the rear of the door track. Position the second track so the ends meet. Check that the rail joiner is central and tighten all 4 grub screws with the supplied 3mm Allen key. The door track is bolted through the lower batten and the lintel. For standard and wide doors, the door track is secured using 4 bolts. For double doors, the door track is secured using 8 bolts. To get started, we will make marks where the holes are required. Measure 10 cm in from the inner edge of the door frame post. Now measure 2 cm up from the bottom edge of the door frame lintel. From the bottom of the door track to the fixing channel is 2 cm. The 2 cm marks give a guide for your holes. Repeat on both sides. Use the door track to draw a straight line along the door frame lintel. If you have double doors, the door track is joined in the middle. The door track joiner will inhibit using fixing bolts within the central 20 cm section. Find the central point of your door frame lintel and then measure 10 cm to either side to ensure you don't position bolts there. Mark the position of the remaining holes required, ensuring they are all spaced an even distance apart. With a 9mm wood drill bit, drill the required holes. Slide 1 bolt per hole down the T-slot and position the door track. For single doors, slide 4 bolts down the T-slot on the door track. The track should overhang on the same side as the support rail. Make the end that doesn't overhang flush with the door frame post. For double doors, slide 4 bolts down each end of the T-slot on the door track. The track should be positioned centrally and overhang evenly on both sides of the door frame. Align the bolts into position through the holes. Bolt into position by fitting a washer and nut.
The corners of the door track are sharp. Please ensure you fit the corner protectors to prevent any injury.
To eliminate the risk of damaging the polytunnel cover, when the door opens and closes, an extra batten is fixed on the top of the sheeting batten, on both door frame posts. A batten is also fixed directly on top of the existing batten on all sliding door support rails. Slide the doors onto the door track. If your doors are not correctly aligned, adjust the wheel assembly by turning clockwise or anti-clockwise. We will now fit the door stops. Door stops prevent your doors from rolling out of the track. For single doors, a door stop is required at both ends. For double doors, door stops are required at both ends and another 2 in the middle. Assemble the door stop by screwing the slotted grub screw through the bracket and into the rubber stop. If you have double doors, you will be required to remove 1 door from the track. Slide 2 door stops down the track to the centre. Rehang the second door. Close the doors so they are central to the frame and then adjust the door stops to butt up to the wheels and secure in position by tightening the screw. Slide in the outside stop and tighten the slotted grub screw. Adjust each stop by releasing, sliding along and retightening until the door stop is in the required position. We will now fit the door guide. The door guide prevents your sliding door from swinging in the wind. Assemble the door guide by screwing the flange nut onto the threaded rod, with the flange to the top. Slide on the nylon roller and secure with locking nut. You will need to hold the rod with grips to hold it tight while screwing on the locking nut. Do not tighten the nut completely, allowing the roller to turn. Position the door guide in line with the door frame post, which the door slides past. Making sure it is upright, drive the guide into the ground. For double doors, you will be required to repeat this process for both doors. If you have a hard base, fix a door frame post plate to the floor. Now we will fit the door drop spikes that keep your door from blowing in the wind. Door drop spikes are fitted to the outside face of the door on the opposite side to it opening. Measure up from the bottom of the door 9 cm and make a mark. Position a door drop spike guide bracket so the bottom of the bracket is flush with this mark. Mark the position of the 2 slots in the bracket and across the top. Now reposition the bracket so the bottom of the bracket is flush with the top mark, and mark the position of the 2 slots again. Using a 9mm wood drill bit, drill a hole through the door for the 4 slots. On the inside face of the door, insert pronged T-nuts into each hole. Bolt the 2 angled brackets to the door with the slot on each bracket at the top. Close the door to the required position, slide the drop spike down through both brackets and mark the position in the ground. Open the door and bury the tube in the required position. If your polytunnel is on a hard base, the housing tube is not required. Simply drill a hole using a 9mm drill bit to an appropriate depth. For double doors, you will be required to repeat this process on both doors. You can find more videos to help you build your polytunnel at construct.firsttunnels.co.uk. We also have a construction helpline if you require any further assistance.